Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler. On this 29th day, we're getting towards the end of November here. Wednesday, got a great show. Got John Restano coming in 30 minutes past the hour. Love to get his take on the Bills. He lives up in the Niagara Falls area, up in the Buffalo area. What's the buzz after losing that game? Huge, biggest game of the week last week, that Eagles game. Want to get his take on that. He's a big Bears fan, keeps up with the Bears and Ohio State. May even ask him about that Mark Cuban situation here. So, also, wow, Aaron Rodgers, he is back. He is back practicing again. He's in the window. I saw some video of him throwing the ball here. I'll talk about that. Also, college football. Thoughts on this Ohio State-Michigan game? A lot closer. If you look deep into the numbers, Pickles, it was a lot closer than what maybe looked at. It was Michigan had their hands full. If you look at the box score, Auburn, Alabama. Also, there was a new hire over the last few days, and I do not want to get away from this. There was a new hire here at Texas A&M, hiring former Duke coach Mike Elko. Tickle Me Elmo. Guy looks like to be a really good coach there from University of Duke. Talk about that and more. But first, let's go ahead and get our first and only break out of the way. I'll be back in 49 seconds. We'll hit the ground running here on Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All right. Thank you there, Pickles. Okay. Mike Garofalo, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, everybody from the NFL. All the reporters. Aaron Rodgers officially limited today. He started back his 21 window day of practice where he can officially come back. He was limited today, 79 days after tearing his Achilles, took an experimental, innovative surgery, whatever you want to call it. I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back at some point. I was watching him walk around a few weeks ago. I was watching him throw the football in the stadium about 2 weeks ago. And now I'm seeing him move around with pads and everything and warming up on a limited basis on the sideline. I'll say this. Now, it would be nice to see him come back Sunday, okay? The reason why they're playing Atlanta at home, not necessarily a world beater, but you've got to look at it from the perspective, can he be protected properly? If anybody can do this, it would be Aaron Rodgers. He gets rid of the football pretty quick. He had an issue with the blocking style. I forgot what he mentioned it, that cross block or whatever. He had an issue with that before that September 11th opener night against the Buffalo Bills. If they do bring him back, which I think they will, from what I'm hearing and seeing, I think that he will be really protected as far as the max protection. Maybe put the 2 tight end set here. Not that many players out there. It's going to be a heavy run. If they're smart, a lot of Breece Hall there, a lot of short passes there, quick release here. I was talking to Jack Hirsch on the Mac and Jack and Jim Jeffcoat show. Again, I'm there every Sunday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central for about 30 minutes. And he says that he thinks Rodgers wants to play a few years there. I still stand by what I said the other day. I still stand by the fact that I do think that this team still needs to get a legit left tackle. They still have to get that legit left tackle. They still need to draft another quarterback, maybe not in the first round. If the season ended today, I want to say they are picking about 8th. But let me double check here because I know a screenshot of that. Yeah, they are picking 8th. They've got Sauce Gardner, folks. I would trade. I would shop Sauce Gardner and try to get up a little bit higher than 8th. Maybe talk to Chicago or Washington, as I mentioned the other day. And, you got an all-pro level corner. He's still on his rookie contract there. You go out and get one of these bigger left tackles, either the tackle from, I think his name is you're going to be hearing this name mentioned a lot between now and April. Fabian from Penn State, or the Notre Dame left tackle. I know there's one from Alabama. Alabama usually don't shoot left tackles like that, although I have read something Pro Football Focus. He's had a really good last couple of games here, the Alabama. But the highest rated one from most mock drafts would be the guy out of Penn State. Very heavy quarterback draft here early. But go ahead and get that left tackle early. Pickles says is playing for the Cameron Clicks. No way he plays this week. Probably not. But competition-wise, it would be good to go against an Atlanta rather than a Houston or somebody like that they've got coming up here in the next few weeks. I think he wants to play because he feels bad. He feels bad that he has pushed all this. Nathaniel Hackett, Alan Lazard, mentioned this the other day. He was a healthy scratch. I think he's starting to feel a little guilty bringing in Randall Cobb. He wanted Bakhtiari. By the way, Bakhtiari's hurt too, so that would have been a horrible move if they would have gave up more draft capital for Bakhtiari. But the good news is they're going to keep this. They're going to keep this pick. They're going to keep this first-round pick. They did lose the second-round pick. They can trade, but March, when the new season begins, they can trade one of these defensive players and go out and get maybe a second-round pick, maybe get another first-round pick there. That's what I would do. Address the fact that you made some mistakes. Joe Douglas missed on left tackle. He missed on quarterback. Move off Zach Wilson and go out and get that other quarterback. Let him learn under Rodgers. I think Wilson's probably shot. He needs to go somewhere else and learn the game of football, in my opinion. And, okay, so I did want to give you my take here on the college games before I bring in John Restano, who I can see back there. Okay, now, college football news. Texas A&M, they went out and hired a coach very quickly, folks. Got shot down Saturday. They are not going to go after Mark Stoops. A&M has hired Mike Elko. They've hired Mike Elko out of Duke here. Now, listen, folks, he's 16-9. They're 7-5 right now. This is Duke, though. They did blow out Clemson in week 1. I like the quarterback play there at Duke. I tell you what, blowing out Clemson in week 1, they beat NC State this year, pushed Notre Dame as far as they can be pushed here. Usually teams with very good coaches like this, their depth runs low and it catches up with them towards the end, and they end up finishing 7-5, making it to a bowl game. Pickles, you know how hard it is for a team to win at Duke there. Remember, they've had some good coaches, though. Steve Spurrier coached at Duke in 1990. before going on to the Florida Gators. So I think this is a very good hire here. This guy is young and hungry. He's only 46, fairly young. He's not super young, but he's not fat and happy. I was reading something about, it was a long story about Jimbo Fisher in The Athletic last week, saying through sources, several interviews, unnamed sources with that worked with Jimbo Fisher, saying he simply hung on to the job too strong. It was a big job. It was a lot of money. We all know $70+ million buyout. It kind of reminded me of a young Lane Kiffin when he got his dream job at USC, when he walked out on Tennessee in the middle of the night. But when I was going back and looking at the way he handled that, he being Lane Kiffin, with their scholarship reductions there, Kiffin, he hung on too tight. He didn't trust anybody. He wanted to do everything himself to make sure it was right. He overextended himself like Jimbo Fisher. Remember, Fisher did not want to let Bobby Petrino call the plays or anything, and he simply exhausted himself because this was such a big job, such a lot of money, such a lot of expectations, and we know what happened. You have to learn to trust everybody around you. It's like running a big company, especially these SEC schools. You've got over 100. If you count Pickles, if you count staff member, if you count scholarship players, non-scholarship players, boosters, you're running a company there. I mean, it's 100 and something employees, players, whatever you want to say, that you are in charge of. Even if you're not in charge of, just like with Jim Harbaugh there, getting in trouble with the issues there at Michigan. So I do think this is a good hire. I do think Jimbo will bounce back. He's only 58. Don't be surprised if Nick Saban doesn't go out and try to hire him again. Okay, quick take here. Hope I'm not holding you up, John, too much in the background here. I know there's so much NFL news. Ohio State, Michigan. Listen, folks, I looked at the box score, and, Michigan really didn't dominate that game as much as I thought it did. I told you all, got called into work, still recorded the game, rewatched the game, although I was following it on my phone while I was driving on Saturday afternoon. But it was a clean game on both sides. I mean, as far as penalties, 1 penalty by Ohio State, 3 by Michigan. Michigan did outrush Ohio State 156-107, but Ohio State had 378 total more yards to 338. The only difference was the Cal McCord 2 touchdowns, 1 led to 2 interceptions, 1 led to a touchdown. The other one led to a game-sealing win there. Is a very, very tightly contested game there. So I'm not sure if I would want to fire Ryan Day here right now. I would want to see what happens with, hey, listen, folks, Jim Harbaugh has been suspended for 6 games, okay? We know that the NFL is going to come after him. We don't know how this NCAA investigation is going to finish off here. You got to look and see how that thing's going. Because if he leaves, how do you know the next coach for Michigan? They've won 3 straight over Ohio State. That's the first time since Lloyd Carr and Charles Woodson days, back from 95 to 97. So it's not like this is an every year occurrence. This is not Tennessee and Florida, where Florida just owns Tennessee for the most part. Ohio State's really had the better end of this rivalry over the past 30 years, if you look closer into the numbers here. So that's something I will ask John about here in a minute. As far as Alabama is concerned, and Auburn, that's another game. If you look at the box score and you just watch the last play like I did on the internet, and of course that was another one I did. So Ryan Day, here's a little clip here 40-0 versus the rest of the Big Ten. He's 1-3 versus Michigan. And, of course, that 3 straight. But going back to Alabama. Okay, now, Alabama-Auburn, quick take here. Alabama did outgain Auburn, okay, folks? They did outgain Auburn. Total amount of yards here, okay, for Auburn. Excuse me, I just had the number highlighted. Now I got to find it. Okay. Alabama, 451 to 337 total yards, okay? Auburn did outrush them 244 to 192. I do like the way that Hugh Freeze used this quarterback Thorne and that quarterback sweeps and everything. Very good scheme there by Hugh Freeze. That being said, Alabama had more penalties. Auburn had the 3 turnovers, okay, including the fumbles lost. But Alabama did control time of possession. They did gain more in total yards. They did not have any turnovers. They did outplay Auburn, folks. They did outplay Auburn, okay? And here's another thing. Now, I'm not going to make my prediction until Friday with Carlos Madden, New York, or Chavez. But I will say this. Alabama, note this, Pickles, everybody else. Alabama has lost at Auburn before and went on to win a national championship. 2017, I saved the box score for you folks, actually. They lost 26 to 14 and went on to beat they went on to beat Clemson in the Sugar Bowl that year, and they went on to beat Georgia in the national championship that year. That was the year that Jalen Hurts was benched. Tua froze the game-winning touchdown. That was a year that Alabama did lose to Auburn in the SEC, in the Iron Bowl. They did not play in the SEC championship game, and they went on and won the national championship game. It's a close game every year within less than 2 scores, going back about 10 years, folks, at Auburn, not at Alabama, at Auburn. It is a total dogfight. It is a total dogfight. I don't know what it is. There's something in that stadium. I was telling my dad about it the other day there. So do not be surprised, folks. And I'm going to look deep into this. Do not be surprised if Alabama does not beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, although they're close to a touchdown underdog. And also I found out 19 million people watched Michigan, Ohio State on Saturday. That's pretty close to NFL numbers. Not as big as Dallas Cowboys. They had over 40 million people on Thanksgiving watch Dallas beat the crap out of the Commanders. Okay, so I've got John Restano backstage. I had to get all that college football stuff out of the way there, brother. Hope I didn't keep you waiting, but you said you listened to the show anyway, so. John Restano, Spitballing Sports. Can you hear me, brother? I can't hear you, man. Hold on. Did I mute you?
No, I'm here. I am. I'm back.
So, John, all right. Are you with Roku TV with Northeast Streaming now? Did I read that right?
No.
Are they using your program or something? I don't know. I saw something there.
They could. They may be doing something on Spitball. I got a lot of shows on Spitball Sports now.
Okay.
That I'm not even on. They're just they asked me if they could use the platform, and I always say yes. Why not? So
okay.
Yeah, very possible.
Okay. Yeah, Pickle says, welcome back, John. Okay.
Thank you.
You heard me talking about all this stuff. We could start backwards. What's your thoughts, man, on Ohio State, Michigan? What's your take, man? I didn't know how to hear your take after the game, brother.
Well, it was a great game. I mean, it was better than the last 2. I thought there was always something that I was after Ohio State would lose to Michigan. It was like, oh God, their defense is terrible. Or this one was close. Was I think an interception away, and I mean, I'm still kind of perplexed on that call in the end zone with the touchdown for Michigan to make it 14-3.
Okay.
I'm not positive if that was an interception. I wonder if Burke, if he wasn't there for Ohio State,
Mm-hmm.
that might have been an incomplete pass. I think he helped him complete the pass.
Oh wow.
That was one that, you know, I truly believe if they didn't call it a touchdown on the field, it would have been incomplete. And it's a different game. I still thought that went. That's the only part of the game, but okay, fine. The game was good. McCord, of course. The first interception was, that was tough. I mean, everything was going as I figured.
0-0, right?
Yeah, and they were punting back and forth, playing well. I mean, and that was a tough one. And then the last one was just desperation. But I'm not as upset this year as I was last year. Last year, I wanted Jim Knowles and the defensive coordinator to be fired. Yeah. And that was terrible. It was all zero blitzing, and they were just wide. Remember those big chunk plays? 85-yard run, 75. This was better. Man, though, I think you could play this game. You could play a best out of 5, and I don't know who wins that. That's how close I think these two teams are.
It really was good, man. And Carlos says this game was slower than the other games. It was right down the middle. I looked at it, and they actually outgained Michigan total yards. They only had one penalty. It was the 2 McCord interceptions that was the difference in the game. I mean, it was right down the middle. Like you said, no cover, 0 blitzes. Al Borges, he covers all the Michigan side of it. He's former coach for Auburn, says that it was those cover 0 blitzes last year that really cost Ohio State. McCarthy, whatever, he took advantage of those, got the ball downfield. Ohio State's a really good team, man. So are you in the camp of maybe fire Ron Day or just kind of wait this thing out, see if Jim Harbaugh leaves?
Man, I was last year. I was a little more in it because when I watched that cover 0 stuff and the way the chunks and the beating that Michigan gave them.
Yeah.
This year, I'm probably not, because I don't know who they replace them with either. I mean, Who is it? Is it going to be Brian Hart? I don't know. It would be Brian Hartline. I don't know who it would be. So I guess I'm not on that side of firing him. I think next year you got to give it one more year, because obviously next year they're in the playoff next year. So, they're not.
You got to be 12-team playoff next year.
Yeah, so they would be in and maybe get to play Michigan again. But this year I don't see I was looking at it. I mean, if Louisville beats Florida State, I don't know if Ohio State has I don't think they have a path. I don't know what you think about it. I don't see it.
I don't see a path either. I think Texas will win, don't you?
Yeah, they're going to win. Yeah, Texas will win the game. Yeah, who do they play? Oklahoma State?
Yeah, and then the winner of Oregon and Washington, I mean, you got to put them in.
So so Texas will go in, Florida State will come out. Florida State probably should come out. Even if they beat Louisville, I don't know if they really should be at 4. Yeah. With their the quarterback being gone. So I'll tell you one thing, there's going to be some good bowl games that aren't aren't in that.
I like
playoff.
These conference championship games. I'll go on here with Carlos on Friday. I still don't know who I think is going to win between Georgia and Alabama. I know Georgia's a favorite, almost a touchdown favorite.
I love Alabama. I don't know what it is.
They're getting better every week, ain't they?
Every week they get better. They're in every week. Every week, the quarterback is won me over, kind of. I'm not saying he's an NFL guy, but I'm enjoying. I'm going to tell you what, that's going to be great. I think it's at 3:30 Eastern. I can't or 4 o'clock. I cannot wait for that
down
one.
Here in Tennessee, we can't wait here in Nashville.
I can't wait. And I'm
working. I'm gonna record it, brother.
I'm hoping Alabama wins. And it has nothing to do with Ohio State. Nothing at all, because they're not getting in.
Well, Georgia's 28 games straight. I mean, you kind of like to see them lose,
I want to see what they're going to do too. When Alabama beats Georgia, and it's close, how do we? I love that. This is the one part I do love, the intrigue of how do you do that? Well, you got to tell that Georgia they're out. How can you tell?
Well, their schedule was horrendously easy.
Yeah.
To start the season. I mean, Michigan's schedule was easy too. The first 5 weeks. At least Ohio State played Notre Dame early. So it's if Alabama beats them, I would say Georgia could possibly be out. Unless Washington win. Washington's got a really good shot to beat Oregon. Although Oregon's a favorite now, like 7.5 to 9 points. I don't know about that, man. That's another one I can't figure out either.
I can't figure. I always, and I've been disrespectful, not just in my mind, to Bo Nix. I just haven't. Yeah. I never think. I don't think he's good, but he is.
Probably remember him at Auburn too.
Oh yeah, I remember Auburn. Yeah. I'm like this. I remember. And I can't wait to see how he plays in this game. This will change my mind. Yeah. This game right here is the one. If he's good, and so he'll win. Washington wins this game, or whoever wins, they're in. So you could have Georgia, Michigan, Washington, Texas, I guess.
Yeah, I think Michigan will definitely beat Iowa.
Yeah, Michigan's there. Yeah, they're good. Yeah. It just depends if they go to number 1. I guess if Georgia were to lose.
Yeah, they would go to 1. Georgia lose. That's. I was telling Carlos this the other day. Nick Saban's 4-1 against Kirby Smart, and even the game that he lost, they had the lead in the second half. So I don't think the talent. I think some people are buying into Georgia last year killing TCU. We're buying into Georgia killing Ole Miss. But Ole Miss doesn't play well in big games.
What happens here? You give me your idea. Florida State could very well lose to Louisville. They really could.
Yes.
They get knocked out.
Backup, yeah.
Oregon beats Washington. Alabama beats Georgia. That's some fun now, interesting. Because what do you do with Texas wins as well?
State in. Because Texas will probably get in. Now, if Texas loses, Ohio State could get in if Texas loses.
My God. Yeah, I love this, but next year I'm going to love it more. When we get to 12 teams. I also was reading about Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know if this is just him talking about not knowing if he's going to declare or not.
Yeah.
That surprises me. But I don't know. Guys like him are a little different. There's something about him and his
dad played in the league. He's probably got some money. He's probably got some NIL money too.
Yeah, and he is awfully good. He is as good as I've seen in a while. In the entire, he's just unbelievable. As far as like you said earlier about Ryan Day, I'm gonna say I want to give him. I don't want to get rid of him yet.
Yeah, look how good Stroud's playing. He's good at developing talent, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep him and see, because next year you're gonna get that 12 team. He should be in. They played good enough to be a playoff team. There's just just works differently. But they got blown out last year. Remember, it was like 42-27 or something.
Yeah.
But
then Michigan, they bounced back against a really good Georgia team. Yeah. And who would have thought that? They had them beat.
They had them beat. And Michigan, you know what? The whole thing with Michigan, too, Michigan against the world, they really done a great job there. I do think they have. Yeah, they rode that. And I'm waiting for it. The other thing with Harbaugh that I can't, he wants an NFL. Remember, he wanted to be he wanted the Vikings job.
Yeah. He interviewed supposedly in air quotes.
I have a feeling this might be it. I think he's in the NFL next year. That's a
good transition.
Prediction.
You're a Bears fan. He played 6 years there. How would that work out, brother?
Well, it'd work out good, I think. I think it would. But
what do you think about that?
He looks like Bo Schembechler. He acts like Bo Schembechler. We talked about this before. He wears the same glasses as Bo. Yeah. Could I see him going to Chicago to be Ditka again? Where he'd wear the vest, guaranteed. I think he would, and I could see it because that's just him. I think he's a weird guy. So
he is, man.
and he helped Colin Kaepernick. If the Bears are going to draft another quarterback too, I mean, gosh, how can you draft a quarterback and say, well, here he is, Eberflus and Luke Getsy?
I mean,
You got to
he
have
got
something.
the first and the 4. I wanted to ask you that for weeks now, man. What do you think about Fields not getting a touchdown the other day? They got the win over Minnesota, but 4 picks and you still couldn't put it in. What do you think about Fields, man? He sitting there with that 1 pick.
And the week before they got a lot too and lost. I mean, the defense is playing
Detroit,
well.
Yeah.
They had Detroit on. They should have beat Detroit. They dominated Detroit for 55 minutes. The defense did, at least. Last night, I'm watching the game. Big Ohio State fan. I want Fields to succeed finally.
Yeah.
I want an Ohio State quarterback. And I said I'm kind of done. I think I'm done with it. I mean, I think it's time. He fumbled. The fumbles are what got me. The fumbling twice in big situations, and I feel sorry because I watched him as in Ohio State, and I realized they're kind of like, you know what? They talked about McCord. And in the beginning of the game, whoever was announcing said, he's a rhythm quarterback. He drops back, he throws. He drops back, it's one guy, he throws the ball. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, throw. Maybe that was Fields too. And he's having a hard time with that. CJ Stroud for some reason isn't. But
right.
I'm ready to move on. I just don't want the guy from USC. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Only person really high on him is Colin Cowherd, and he's a big USC homer. Yeah.
Look, man, when he cried in the stands, and then when he said, I want to go home and cuddle my dog, what are you gonna do in Chicago? Justin Fields is getting buried there. I mean, they're relentless, man. You're not gonna.
That's what I said. I thought, man, what are you, Taylor Swift?
Yeah, that turned me off. I don't know how. Stop! That was bad. I don't even know. Yeah. But I mean, you're gonna. So I don't. The kid from North Carolina. But what are the Bears gonna do? They're sitting with 1 and 4 right now.
I mean, how they could, and a lot of money. You're in a better position than you were this time last year. And this time last year, I thought you were in just the greatest position because they got a lot of money this year too, And what about Matt Eberflus, John? Do you go offensive minded?
I would have fired him by now. I mean, I don't understand why him and Luke Getsy aren't gone. I don't understand. I don't know if I'm really wondering if Ryan Poles gets fired, and the new guy, President Warren, does. Something
he hasn't
different.
Been there that long, has he?
No, and he didn't hire Poles. So I would think that I think they should. I think that's what you'd want to do. How can I trust any of these people to draft the next quarterback, and as well, the quarterback coming to Chicago and having Luke Getsy as their, it's just not going to work out well. They got to make some drastic moves. I hope Warren does it. I hope he fires them all.
Okay. Well, so what if you had your pick of the litter for coach there, who would you want to get? Don't let me put any words in your mouth with this Jim Harbaugh.
It's Harbaugh. It's always been Harbaugh. It's always been Harbaugh because
6 years. I didn't know he played there that long, John.
Yeah, no, he played there. He's the one. If you could watch someday, you watch the footage. They're playing the Vikings in probably 91. I don't even know, 91 or something. Huge game on a Monday night, and he throws that pick 6 to Joey Browner, and Ditka just. I've never seen anything like that. He ended up having to go. He had to go to therapy due to it.
Wow.
But he loves Mike Ditka. He loves that. When I seen him look like Bo Schembechler, it was the first thing I said. This maybe someday he'll want to come back to Chicago. And he did good with Colin Kaepernick, so why can't he develop somebody, bring them to, it's kind of like what Sean McDermott did in Buffalo. Just bring them back to some kind of respectability.
Yeah.
I think Harbaugh's better than McDermott, though. But I mean, and maybe you got to let him pick who he wants to work with. Who's the GM that fits all together for them guys. Chicago should be they got their defense isn't bad. They got a lot of money. You got DJ Moore. You got Cole Kmet. You do have some running game. It's not as bad. The guy from Tennessee has been really good that they drafted.
Terrell Wright at right tackle. I thought they was going to put him at left, but what's your thought on this left tackle there? Did they like him?
Yeah. No, it's not. The offensive line, when you look at the PFF numbers and all that stuff, it's not bad.
Good.
My problem, a lot of it goes back on Justin Fields. I mean, it's the holding the ball.
Makes him look bad, don't he?
Yeah,
just 1 year, and he looks like he's so far ahead of Fields and other quarterbacks. I can't
believe how Stroud looks, and I can't believe that Fields. It's yesterday was a tale of two games. I mean, there was a point in the first quarter where it's like, oh, there he is. That's good. That's fine. And then we get to the third and the fourth, and he starts turning it over. And I don't know, man. They 2 weeks in a row now. They could have won. They should have beat Detroit. And it's probably for the best they didn't, but
right.
They probably should have lost last night as well. So
well, Dobbs gave them 4 interceptions on Monday, so yeah. So okay, Harbaugh. That's what I was thinking, man. I mean, that you got the money, his pick of the litter at quarterback. Whether you want. I wouldn't rule out the Washington guy. I mean, this guy, Penix can. I saw a back shoulder throw he made last week, and I said that's some Joe Burrow stuff right there. He's only 6'1", but he's got a lot of touch on the football, man. And of course, Drake May's pretty good too. Jalen Daniels, McCarthy. I don't think he'd go with McCarthy though. Do you? The Michigan guy.
I wouldn't think so. I that would be a hell of a reach. I think up there at 1 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I don't know what and even beyond the cuddling of the dog and the crying in the crowd, I also don't think he's played really well. And I mean, look, he did play real well against Notre Dame.
He didn't. Oh God, he got killed against Notre Dame.
Yeah. So I mean, he's not what they in the beginning. It was like, okay, he's Mahomes. Let's do it. You got to have him. So I just think that, like, oh God, I have such nightmares over North Carolina quarterbacks. But I think this kid's a lot different than Trubisky was. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what they're going to do though. What do they do with that first pick? It's going to be very interesting.
Well, there's going to get a lot. They're going to get some people call them to trade it. I don't know, man. That's why you really have to have your general manager and head coach on the right page. I'd take a quarterback. I'd be done with Fields. I would probably look at either May or Penix. Nobody likes Penix like I do, but Penix, he's got that back shoulder turnaround. I mean, this guy really looks good, man. I would definitely bring him in for a workout.
I told you, man. I remember him at Indiana. He was good there, and he just is unbelievable at Wisconsin.
That's what Hutchinson said too. He said he brought it up about him being at Indiana. A lot of great quarterbacks have big transfers. Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson was a transfer from NC State to Wisconsin. So it's not transfer. He's garbage. No. There's some great quarterbacks that have been transfers that got to get stuck in the.
And where does Bo Nix end up? I mean, Bo Nix is probably
his stock keeps going up every day. A lot of people's thinking he may get the Heisman there, but I don't know about Bo Nix. I mean, of course, Carlos, he's way off. He's not a 4th rounder. Last mock draft, he's either 17th or 18th to Minnesota for McCarthy. Chad make a good point. Yes, Sam Howell's having a good year. He's out of UNC. A lot of it is the players around you, the system around you, the blocking up front.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of that. You got your right tackle for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. I mean, and Trubisky's just, that wasn't Trubisky's fault.
He didn't get that many starts under his belt, too.
No, it was Ryan.
He's got a lot, and so does Bo Nix, of course. Bo Nix got thousands.
Yeah, I think if the Bears, it'll be interesting. I would love to see Marvin Harrison Jr. there as well. That would be a good fit. And then you find a quarterback, and you got to have. I don't, other than Harbaugh, I I don't see anything that I'm around the league that I'm saying I would. I mean, I know there's coordinators, right, all the time, but I'm kind of tired of that route for the Bears. I think it's time to do something a little bold. Throw the money at him, but you get the general manager is probably more important, because if you keep on going with these guys, Ryan Pace, Ryan Poles, it's time to
do away with the Ryans.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, no more. No
Buddy
more.
Ryan. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Rex Ryan. That'll be a problem if he comes around.
That is, I don't know, made me think about Buddy Ryan, the former defensive coordinator for 85 Bears, right?
Yes.
With a certain Ditka. Got me thinking about Saturday Night Live. Every time I hear the word Ditka, I think about Uncle Bears kids.
Yeah.
Okay, switching gears, brother. What do you think about this Bills game? I like what you tweeted out there. I read that same stat. Outgained these guys, outgained Philadelphia, won the turnover battle, and teams are like 39-0 prior to Buffalo playing Philadelphia on Sunday. What's the buzz around town on that one, man?
Yeah, since 1970. You got a group of different people. I mean, you got people that are really upset over the officiating, which of course was really bad. Yeah. There's no doubt it was really bad. There wasn't.
You get away with everything in Philadelphia.
I mean, the horse collar thing. There's people that have gone. When I first saw it, I'm saying it's not. I didn't think it was, because I think you got to grab them a different. But whatever, I could see why that would be called. And then there's a group of just get rid of McDermott now because he's holding us back. He's got to go. I also think, and I'm going to take this time on here to do this, and I'm not a Bills fan whatsoever, as you can see, but I have to deal with them. Josh Allen is better than he's given. I think he's given a little too much the criticism is a little strong, I think, on him on ESPN and from certain places. He's not. Sometimes they talk about him like he's Justin Fields or something. I mean, this guy is awfully good. Now, I don't know what. Look, he did everything you could do to win that game. I don't believe he did anything. I watched it. I don't.
Defense, John, the other day. I mean, look at the Ed Oliver, Von Miller. Both of your safeties played it. You guys, y'all got to take that. I mean, Josh gets you a 10-point lead, man. You guys got to get these guys off the field.
Von Miller's done. I noticed he wasn't on the field at all. They tried, and he's just
up in the box score at all.
It's over. It's over for him. He's got it, and it's going to be interesting for them because the next year, I think I don't know if it jumps up the money like to 24 million or something. So that's a tough spot. They thought they would have won a title by now, but I don't get why they. You know what else I don't understand? Why at the end of the game they knelt down and didn't take a shot with 20 seconds to get into field goal range or something.
Yeah. That was got Diggs there. You got to.
That was bizarre. You had him with a strong arm. You could have done it. He could have ran for a little bit and spiked. And had that opportunity. Yeah. I was shocked that he played for overtime. It's just the Bills. The Bills are just. Why would they? Here, perfect example. Why at the end of the game, Jalen Hurts scores a touchdown like he did.
Yeah.
I don't know who watches games that didn't realize he wasn't going to run the ball there.
Everybody in the stadium and the 15 million of us watching it, I thought it was the best game of the week, man.
It was. And
the pouring down rain too, John.
Yeah. They did the whole cover zero. They blitz. Yeah. In every critical situation, it feels to me, the Eagles, that happens on the goal in the red zone. And that McDermott is he's probably getting too much criticism, let's say, but it feels like he's done a great job. Think of where they came from.
Yeah.
They were at the Bears spot. They were disrespected. They were a joke.
Yeah.
They have been made into, they have done things that are. The Bills fans should be very happy because it's been a bad stretch. You have a quarterback now that you haven't had since Jim Kelly. I am always stunned, Robert, at
Yeah.
ESPN and how they talk about this guy.
Yeah.
I know he has 13 picks. I realize that. That's not, but there's a couple of them that I could watch that Gabe Davis should have. I mean, they'd go right through his hands.
Well, yeah, he supposedly ran the wrong route. If he runs the right route, they win it at the end of regulation, from what I understand.
That's what
Gabe Davis missed.
Yeah.
And Jason Whitlock mentioned that earlier before the season started, that he had a source within the locker room that Josh Allen was getting a little Ben Roethlisberger-ish, kind of when Roethlisberger first won his Super Bowl, kind of resting on his laurels a little bit, getting a little lazy there with some of his checkdowns and passes. And I could kind of see a little bit of that. But also, I know about Diggs' past, Stephon. Yeah. I know how much of a problem he was in Minnesota. That's why he's in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And that's why they got Justin Jefferson. But also, like you, I think it could go too far the other way when he has made progress this year. But their defenses is giving up too much, and they still don't have a steady running game. With the running backs, he was their leading rusher again, 81 yards.
81 yards, and then this is and of course I think they've held him back a lot from running. I think they're only explosive when he gets out of the pocket. Very explosive. They think about that, of all the not many explosive plays, not a lot of big chunk yards for the Bills. Like you're used to seeing. I think it's a little stale. I think they need an injection of some. Maybe they get Harbaugh. I don't know. They need an injection of something, an offensive coach. They need to
run that ball. Yeah.
Diggs always concerns me. But Cook seems, I don't know what you think about James Cook. He's
not bad.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
They got some guys
they need a Mike Shanahan, what Shanahan did for John Elway. And I think you're gonna have to, his cap number goes way up next year. Josh Allen. So they're gonna have to do some restructuring there. Get an offensive minded. There's a guy, I think his name's like Frank Smith or something. He's the OC for Miami, and he's like 40 something. So he's not super, super young, like my dad will say, or even people's on here, techno geek. But it just kind of fixed the running game a little bit. And yes, they've gotten a little old on defense. You're going to have to get some pieces there on defense and probably have to cut some of the fat off there. But still got some players there. Ed Oliver's still fairly young,
Yeah, Espinoza had a decent game finally. I mean, Leonard Floyd's having a great year. I think he's almost got 10.5 sacks. Yeah. I also think that Josh Allen and John Elway has been a good comparison. No disrespect to John Elway, because Elway was great and is a Hall of Famer. Allen's not, but it's a similar feeling.
Strong arm, highly sought after.
He thinks he can make every completion and he can do everything. And I don't know if they've given him. See, I hate to say this because maybe they have. Maybe he needs more. Maybe he needs another weapon. Maybe he needs another wide receiver other than Gabe Davis. Maybe it'd be a good thing to try to do that. And running game, that's the thing. I unfortunately have to see these guys a lot, and I will tell you, they've made the effort to run. Like I've seen it, like with Latavius Murray and all this stuff. And the thing stopped.
Murray has had some moments there.
The thing that they've stopped in my eyes is letting Allen run, and you kind of. He looks almost like he's neutered or something. Like he can't. He's not where he was.
Except for the other night.
Yeah.
That was like the game of his life. He's like, that's it. They're going to kill us if we don't win this game.
and now they've got what? Kansas City and Dallas.
Yeah.
Back to back after the bye week.
So you're pretty sure they're going to fire McDermott, probably.
You would think so. My goodness. And you would think that it would be a whole new. I mean, if they don't, the people here are going to be pretty upset because it's becoming it was funny. The honeymoon is over, of course, like kind of last year, but it really is now. Every
With
time they
Damar
lose,
Hamlin, they kind of forgave him. We talked about that before. That's
Yeah.
kind of just the city kind of just put their arms around him because of the Damar Hamlin situation. But now it's just like,
Yeah.
the X's and O's, and
they should be better. They shouldn't be 6-6.
yeah,
They should be better. And I
they
think
should have beat the Jets, and they should have won Sunday.
New England. How about New England? They lost
You
to
gotta
New
beat
England.
New. Everybody's beat New England.
They lost to bad Denver before Denver became good. So
Yeah.
those losses hurt because now you got to sweep Dallas. You got to beat KC. You got to beat Miami. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They beat Miami before, but still,
I don't know if they beat them now in Miami. You know what I mean? And I also am thinking they missed the playoffs this year. I'd be shocked if they. I'll tell you this though: if they make it, I'd be afraid to. I wouldn't want to play them in the first round because they are weird. They have. They're the most kind of like helter skelter type team I think in the league right now.
Right?
So
when you write them off, everybody thought Philadelphia was going to run away with that game, and they had Philadelphia backed up.
Didn't you think I said this on Facebook? So it's a little more local on Facebook. So I get more of the local and people attacked. I had said that I thought the Eagles were waiting to lose. I didn't feel like they were going to take that game. Almost like it was given. Like they were just not. They were kind of out of it.
Well, I mean, the record with Lane Johnson. He was out. They have a losing record. The Eagles have a losing record when right tackle Lane Johnson misses. They were like 12-23. Now they're like 13-23 because they won the other night. That's why I put it on that line. Like, you guys, if I'm McDermott, I'm like, you guys got to get this done. We can't get no more out of Josh in this offense and James Cook and all those guys. You guys got to do something and put those safeties down there in the box to keep. Now, of course, then you've got, but it's pouring down rain now. You've got A.J. Brown on the outside, Devontae Smith. They didn't even have their tight end. Go Dirt was out.
Yeah.
So it tells you how good they are.
And that first quarter and that first half. Now, I have them in fantasy football, so I was paying attention. Jalen Hurts had like 27 yards passing. I mean, it was
you had Jalen Hurts. What was his number? Like 45 or something?
He ended up with 46 points. I don't know how the hell that happened, but I think he had 5 touchdowns.
I told my dad, I said, man, I gotta get Josh Allen out of here. It's gonna be raining too bad. I was like,
well,
put Patrick Mahomes in and Daly.
That first half, he looked terrible. I thought Hurts. It wasn't working, and the Bills just didn't do enough. They were up by 10 though at half. You're up at 10.
You got to finish it, man. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think their safeties have gotten old fast, and they are old. Poyer and whatever with the other guy.
Hyde, they were great in their day.
So
3-4 years ago.
I think the guy they got from Razul, I like him from Green Bay. That was probably good.
From Green Bay, yeah.
But other than that, Tre'Davious White is probably finished. You're going to say goodbye to Von. You have to say goodbye to Von Miller somehow.
Yeah, I'd cut off. That's exactly where I'd go right there. Exactly what you just. I like Milano still. He's still pretty young, ain't he?
Yeah,
he got injured.
Yeah, they miss him. Yeah, they miss him a little. Obviously a lot. I shouldn't say a little. They miss him a lot. So I don't know, man. They would it surprise me if they? I could see them maybe winning one of the two between the Chiefs and the Cowboys. I honestly think right now the Cowboys are playing good.
They really are. Yeah.
The Chiefs, I don't think the Chiefs are playing that well, but they
figure out ways. And this Rashee Rice, keep an eye on him. He's kind of coming along. He's a rookie, but he's coming along with Pat Mahomes, 100 yards the other day. Hey, let me ask you a quick round ball question here. Go a little Jim Carrey. Have you heard about Mark Cuban selling off the majority of the Mavericks, and he steps down from Shark Tank? You think Mark Cuban's going to run for president or something?
That is interesting. Yeah, well, I knew that happened, but I didn't think about presidency. Maybe he's flirted, right? He's talked.
Yeah.
He's had that. Yeah, he could. And with the way the world is and the way the country is, why not? I mean, you never know. We see a lot of these
third party, you know. I brought it up yesterday when that story broke. I thought maybe because of the China thing, and
right,
because you know they get 15% of the revenue from China. Because Jordan sold his team, he didn't really give a full explanation for selling the Hornets, and then he still has basketball operations, but he got like $3 billion for the majority stake there. But then he stepped down from the Shark Tank thing, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe he does want to run for as a third party candidate or whatever. And you know, my thing is, after thinking about it for 24 hours, man, I'm thinking, well, if there's a skeleton, you know, it'll come out. If there's a woman out there, beware of what you wish for, Mark Cuban.
And it's funny. That's what it was Howard Stern. I remember when he was talking to Donald Trump before Donald Trump had just announced, and he had said, why? Think of the things they're going to say about you and what's going to come around and come get you. And, you know, good for him for not listening. He did what he had to do, and he ran.
Yeah.
And Mark Cuban, though, is an interesting one. I always think, and this, I know,
that'll make 24 interesting, wouldn't it?
It would. And third, you might have a fourth party if that other guy runs Kennedy. I mean, you might have four of them. So interesting.
So we got primaries. We got college football playoff 24. We're going to have new football coaches in the NFL. The Bears have 2 first-round picks. Next year is going to be crazy, man.
Love it. It's perfect.
Yeah, if I'm you, I'm thinking, Only thing for me being here in Nashville, I wish the Titans had a real high draft pick. I want the Titans to get that left tackle from Penn State. But you know, it's wishful thinking.
I just hope they're not gonna. I still like their head coach. I hope Vrabel is. I don't know if he's on.
You like Vrabel still?
I want Vrabel in Ohio State.
Well, me and Carlos, we talked. If the Tennessee does get rid of Vrabel, maybe it would be a better fit at Ohio State, and maybe Tennessee can get this Johnson guy from Detroit, the offensive coordinator that everybody's talking about. If they want to go offensive minded, but I wanted them to beat Carolina last week. I know it hurt them in the draft. I think they can still win with him. They just got to get their line situated. I was watching some film on Sonorski earlier before I got on, and he's doing pretty good. They just need a left tackle, not Andre Dillard. He's a rental.
Right.
The guy from Notre Dame
I was just screaming about Nate Davis I think he was a Tennessee guy. Oh my God. He's been no more. You can't get offensive linemen that are cut from other teams because what's the point? There's a reason why they were cut.
We got Andre Dillard, and there's a reason why they went with their guy, you know.
Oh my gosh,
Nate. Nigel's from Australia. He says hello.
Oh. Yeah. How cool. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think we met him through our guy from that recently passed, our buddy there.
Dave.
Dave. Yeah. Dave was connecting me to everybody, you know.
Yeah,
and Linda and John with Northeast Streaming.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But so it's a lot of crazy stuff there. I don't know what Mark Cuban's doing. Maybe he's up to something else, man. I don't know. He's an interesting guy, and he's unpredictable.
He loved.
I didn't think they'd ever signed Kyrie Irving. So what do I know?
I know, and he loved his team. That's why I was surprised when I saw it. You know, I saw it from I think it was you who tweeted it.
Yeah.
Who I caught it from.
Yeah, and he's still with the basketball operations, so it's like it's a temporary. I don't know what he's up to, man.
Yeah,
maybe he's trying to
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. I know we got to go, but I got to ask you a question. Do you like this tournament?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I've grown to like it a little bit, and I can't believe I'm saying that. It hasn't bothered me too much. I mean, maybe I'm happy just because the Knicks made it.
And watching the Kings come back and beat Golden State is always a good day for me.
Yeah,
I never like Golden State.
Yeah, I don't like Golden State either. I was watching Phoenix and Toronto tonight. That was on.
Yeah.
And Toronto was up when we started the show, but
Who did you like preseason, John? I didn't never ask you in the
Suns.
NBA.
The
You
Suns
did like
were
the
the,
Suns? Did we? Okay. You still
Yeah.
like the Suns?
yeah, I'm still good. I love their new coach. I think they just are a different team with him. Monty was just too calm and too.
Oh, that's
he-
right. We did talk about
Yeah.
that. I didn't know.
I do like them. I mean, obviously that freaking Boston and all those guys, and they're awfully good. But I like Phoenix in the West. I think if they can stay healthy, if Booker can stay. Booker, I think I keep touting him. I've been doing it now for a year on your show. He
What?
could be the MVP.
He had a great shot the other. What was it to beat the Knicks
Against
I
the
wanna say.
Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Carlos.
That was unbelievable, that shot.
Yeah.
And then Brunson almost made one, but it rimmed out. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And Porzingis is a little banged up. I know a lot of people's been reminding me about that, but I still like I think it's Boston and Denver. As long as Jamal Murray doesn't get and yeah, you're right, Chad. Minnesota this year, they're playing the way I thought they would play last year. If they can not fight amongst themselves. I hear they don't get along really well.
Yeah, right.
But
No,
Jalen Daniels and everybody, and who's that other guy? Edwards?
yeah.
Young star?
Don't they got Anthony Towns there or whatever too?
Yeah, Carl Anthony Towns, and of course, whatchamacallit, who Draymond Green got in a headlock the other day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the top Gobert, Rudy Gobert.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had him. That's right. Yes. Who had? And it made no sense. Who did? Oh, that was who was? That was Draymond did that.
Yeah, Draymond just didn't. He didn't want to play. He don't like to play this time of year.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either of Golden State. I just don't. And he has a. I don't like him because I'll listen to his podcast that he does sometimes.
Me too.
And he talks about 80s and 90s basketball, but I don't think he realizes what 80s and 90s basketball was. You wouldn't have done that in 80s and 90s basketball.
It would have been a major brawl.
Yeah, they would have. He wouldn't have been able to get away with it and come off the court clapping and everything else. They would have, they'd have fought. He would have got something for that.
Yeah.
So
especially
it's
if
not
he did against the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh
Him
my.
and Adrian Dantley. That would have been a good one.
Oh yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Bill
but he
Laimbeer.
doesn't know what it's. He has no because he gets that whole thing where we're tougher than the 80s and 90s, and I don't really care. I want to see basketball. I don't want to see fights, but it's not. It's nothing
I
like
kind of
it.
miss some of those days. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry Kissinger died. He's 100 years old. Speaking of little, that just popped up on my screen.
Wow. 100
Yeah.
years old. And I thought, didn't Bill?
I thought he was dead years ago.
That's like Jimmy Carter's, I think, wife. Just he's still there.
100-year-old club.
Jimmy Carter's still building houses for humanity for Habitat or something.
Yeah, he's 100 and something.
He's
So,
120.
good Lord,
Yeah.
man. What are these guys drinking and eating?
I don't know.
Probably
don't
getting
stop.
a lot of cat naps in. I don't know, brother.
Yeah.
But hey, John, it's always good. Hey, check out tomorrow, man. I've got a guy coming in, Mike Richmond, wrote a book about George Allen, former Redskins coach. So sounds like it's going to be a pretty interesting interview tomorrow, man. And
that's right up my alley. I love it.
yeah, I know you're a historian, man. You keep up with everything. They were the second most valuable franchise for a long time in NFL before Dan Snyder. They were right there just below the Cowboys. You would think it would have been Chicago, one of the New York teams, Pittsburgh or something, but no, it was the Redskins. And now Commanders are not quite that, Snyder kind of ran them in the ground, but they're not too far off. But hey, man, I appreciate it, buddy. Now you're still on Friday at 7 or 6
o'clock Eastern. We were off last week, but we'll be back this week, and we got a lot to talk about. Scott and I will talk about the Bills. He's a huge Bills fan, so we'll get into that stuff. Our picks have been great, by the way. If you're betting out there against the spread, I should have had if I have the numbers here, listen to this. In the NFL against the spread, we're 44-24-1, 63.7%. And in college football, we're 25-13, 65%. So
Oh, you're
if you
better
come,
than me, brother, right now. You're doing
yeah,
good.
come over to see us at 6 o'clock Eastern at Spitball and Sports, and we'll give you. You might want to go the other way now. It's probably going to be a stat question here coming, so you could
He's
chart
gonna
me.
be
But anyway, I'm
upset.
just saying.
He's gonna be upset Friday, ain't
Yeah, we'll be picking games. We'll be picking games and stuff, and yeah. Thanks for having me as always. I love
Yeah,
it.
brother. Hey, which way are you leaning towards San Francisco and Philadelphia?
I still think I think the 49ers are I like them a lot when
Yeah,
they're healthy. I can't even admit when they're healthy and playing like they are. McCarthy, McCaffrey's unreal.
yeah.
He really, really is an unbelievable. He's the best in the league. He's the engine.
System's perfect for that guy.
Purdy's crazy how good he is. It's Joe Montana light. He doesn't make mistakes much.
Oh, you mean Purdy? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't checked the injury report, but I'm heavily leaning towards the 49ers in that game.
And the Eagles have come close. The Bills had them. If the Chiefs had them, everyone's kind of had them. If that guy, if what's his name, Scantling catches the ball, it's a different game.
They've got two more. That's why I think that it's going to catch up with Philadelphia at the end. I still don't think they'll get back to the Super Bowl. Could be wrong, but there's a reason why history is not on their side.
Yeah, and San Francisco looks just like they got that. I get that feeling about them, like I do about Kansas City. There's something about them that's so well coached.
Well-oiled machine, ain't they?
Yeah. And I enjoy. I kind of like watching them. So
yeah,
I think they win.
That's about what I thought. What is your special this week? I don't know what Wesley means by that. Is that like one pick that you had in mind? I don't know.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, we got to look into it because I'll tell you, I last week, and I didn't put it out there, and I wish I would have. I hit a 5-team parlay, nice 5-teamer in the NFL, but I didn't put it out there, so I can't prove it. But I did it, and we have a good time. Join us if you're out there. It's fun.
Yeah, and I'm in between getting notes for Carlos's show, and I'm doing laundry Friday. But I'm gonna try to tune in, brother, because I like to do those with my dad. I love that anytime touchdown thing with FanDuel. That really pumps it up, don't it?
It does. Yeah, love it. It's too much. Right, it's too easy.
Too easy. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Have a good one, brother. See you. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. And again, check out the show. Same time, same place. If you like the show, please share the show. Want to thank Chad here for contributing to the program. Thank you again. Want to thank you on air. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place here on Sports Scope.